I have been cleaning people's homes for the past 3 years, and in these 3 years, I have gathered some level of experiences. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some lessons I learned starting from nothing. And if you're looking to boost your income by sourcing for new skills or opportunities from your hobbies, then you're in the right place. So, the first thing I discovered, and I discovered this really early, was that you have to go for something that you're passionate about when you're thinking about going for a side hustle, or even if it's not something you're really passionate about, it has to correlate with your passion. When I first started thinking about what to do as a side hustle, the first thing my mind went to and the first thing I did was teach primary school pupils. And I was miserable because it wasn't my thing. When I think about side hustle, it boils down to two things: your hobbies and money, because I believe that that is where you make the most money from. So, how I came to discover what it is I really should be doing as a side hustle was one day my friend called me that her house was a mess and she needed help, tidying up her space. So I went there. It was just her room and her restroom. I wasn't really expecting anything. I just went there to do it because she's a friend. And at the end of the day, she gave me 5K. And when she came back from work that day, she told me, "What do you think about doing this as a side hustle? I mean, you're really good at it. You might as well just do it for the fun of it and make money from it." So that was the first time it occurred to me that, okay, I can actually be doing this thing that I actually love and make money from it. Now, this might sound crazy, but what I consider fun is cleaning, tidying, and organizing. And the truth is, what you see as fun, what you don't see as a job, you will do it and do it well. Cleaning people's homes, it's not an easy task. And imagine me doing that in a grumbling or angry state. There is no way I'm going to do it properly, and that way I don't see who is going to pay me for doing such a saggy job. The second thing is being humble. And the reason why I say be humble is because when I first started it, I had a bunch of stupid thoughts in my head. And the reason why I even remember these ones are because like they were the prevailing thoughts, they kept on reoccurring. And I remember the first prevalent thought was that how is it that I went to 4 years in the university and then I would come out to be cleaning people's homes? Do you understand that sort of thing? But the truth is, being a graduate is not a guarantee for success in any way. The second prevailing thought was, what if I go to clean someone's house? Maybe the client turns out to be a very nice, reasonable young man that might be interested in me, but then he loses his interest because I clean homes for a living. And then, only me cause sit and think, any man that will see me as less because I am doing something, because it's very honorable doing something such as that, that is just all the shades of red flags, and I shouldn't be with that person. And the third prevailing thought was, what if I have a misunderstanding with someone and then it gets physical? Like, what if I get bad reviews? But we are all different human beings coming from different backgrounds and having different perspectives in life. So we would have a misunderstanding. So that shouldn't be a reason for me not to do what I can to put extra money in my pocket. Because at the end of the day, if I sit back and say I'm not going to do this because of all of these things, my time is ticking. Time is not going to wait for me. And thankfully, the world has become a place that is filled with so much open minded people as long as it comes to what you can do for money. So, all I can say is, as long as it is something that is not illegal, it is something that is not hurting anybody in any way, and it is something that is not degrading to your moral values, I see no reason why you shouldn't give it a try. Your 20s, especially if you're in your early 20s, is the best time to try as much things that you can as possible, as long as your heart is there. Excel at it, fine and good. If you don't, lessons learned, you know that is not your calling, and you move on to the next. Number 3 is entering the market. So when you have come to terms with yourself that this is what you want to do as a side hustle, you're not just going to sit down and expect miracles to happen. You have to make a move. So once you identify your passion and you see that you can make money out of it, the next thing is to source for opportunities. For my kind of side hustles, there are a lot of people that want their homes cleaned but are too tired or too busy to do it. So you can get opportunities online, sometimes through word of mouth or sometimes through reviews. And once you're sourcing for these opportunities, you don't just want to enter the market, you also want to understand the market. So look for people that are in the same field as you for a bunch of reasons. You want to know what the customer base is like, what for my kind of side hustle now, when people really want their homes to be cleaned, how they like it cleaned. And then the most important thing, so that you do not sell yourself short. There are some places you go to, and me doing it as an individual, some people might want to price me less, but if a cleaning agency goes to clean their homes, I know what they are charging. So you get the point, so that you don't sell yourself short. The next thing is knowing your worth. For a side hustle like mine, there is a lot of things to consider: my environment, my time, my capacity, and most importantly, my mental health. I live in a relatively small town, so that means that I cannot charge what somebody in Lagos would charge for cleaning a 2-bedroom apartment. However, that doesn't mean that I should be doing Saraka. And this applies to other side hustles. Just because you're doing most of it for fun doesn't mean you should lose sight of the fact that you're actually investing your time, your energy, possibly money and other things into it. So do not let your client make you feel as if he or she is doing you a favor, because I have had those sort of encounters. When it comes to side hustles, you should be running the show 90% of the time. Number 5, don't rush yourself. So when you start, there's this feeling of trying to chase everything that you love, but chances are you might not excel. So I always say that if you found that one thing that you're really good at, you try as much as you can to put the effort into it. And also had times where people would tell me, maybe you're so good at this thing, why don't you start a business, a real actual business? But I know within me that this is not the right time. There's still a lot to be learned. And it's going to be a really sad thing when you invest so much into a business and it doesn't, exactly go the way you want it. So for now, I'm still trying to learn as much as I can. And another thing I came to understand is once you start getting that extra cash, because there's this feeling of you don't want to stop. I remember when I first started, I would work my 9 to 5, like Mondays to Fridays, and then on Saturdays and Sundays I'll be sourcing for opportunities to go clean homes. And I can tell you this for free, it was so debilitating. Like, something was not just right somewhere. I was always exhausted. We want to do as much as we can to keep ourselves financially stable and financially free, but we shouldn't do that losing sight of the fact that our health is priority. Number 6 is setting clear goals. If I ask you now, why is it that you want to start a side hustle? I'm sure most of you would say, because I want extra money. If I then go ahead to ask you, why do you need extra money? Some people do not have answers to that question. And it says a lot. I'm not saying that you should only have a side hustle because you're chasing a goal or because you want to use it for something. However, once you have that thing that you're chasing, it just keeps you motivated. Because if you're only grinding and hustling just to make money, life is filled with a lot of distractions, And if you don't have that thing that you're making that money for, you could easily, lose all of that money that you have been able to acquire to those distractions. The last but not the least is seeing your side hustle as an investment. Don't just see your side hustle as a means to make extra money. Also see it as a way to build beneficial connections. Like, there are some homes that I've cleaned, and if I decide that I want to start a business tomorrow, I know that I'm going to be having good customers. See it as a way to learn. See it as a way to gain experience. For instance, now I am in my 20s, which means that I'm very young, I'm very active, and I can actually do the cleaning myself. But say maybe in my 30s or my 40s, I might be so busy or not as strong as I am now. That time I can decide that I want to go into the business aspect of it, set up a cleaning agency. At that point, I already have all the experience that I want in that field, right? So I'm going to go in there, and there's a 90% chance that I'm going to excel. Like, I'm very, very confident in that percentage. That's because of the experience that I have gathered now. So don't see it as a waste of time. Whatever it is that you're chasing in life, nothing is easy. I have had situations where I've gone to clean people's homes, and when they tell me what they intend on paying me for cleaning their space, it's just like them saying I am irrelevant or worthless. That's how I interpret it in my head. In your journey, people might make you feel like trash. People might make you feel like you're worthless or useless. All I can tell you is shake it off, get up and move on. We live in a harsh world. But there are also chances that you meet some of the best people that would probably change your story, or at the very least make an insurmountable impact in your life. So treat your clients with caution, and whatever you're doing, do it from the depth of your heart. That's why I say follow your passion. So this is the lessons I have learned in my journey so far of 3 years, starting from nothing and getting to where I am now, building the client base, getting the little that I can from it. And I really hope you got value from this video. As always, I will see you next week.